Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Allie, and first disclaimer, this video will be all over the place because tonight's episode was insane. Okay, I'm gonna jump right into the Liza and Charles situation because your girl was screaming. Their whole story of tonight starts with Liza and Charles both being at the same party, which we knew from last week's promo. She's pressured and thrown into yodeling with her family, and she's doing her thing in front of the whole people that are there, the room, and lo and behold, Mr. Charles walks in and he's looking at her, okay? And it's like a light bulb went off in his head. His eyes were glowy, and it's like he saw Liza for the very first time, and he saw her doing her thing, and it was first of all, Sutton Foster is an amazing singer, and the fact that she isn't sang sooner on the show is a tragedy. So younger writers, please, I hope we have more of that. Now, so he's looking at her, and then she spots him and she's like, oh my god. So she, like, you know, wraps it up and then runs off. And so she's coming out and she bumps into the family that's hosting. I believe they're hosting Caitlin's roommates parents. Before, they had already been talking to Charles, so Liza comes out or something like that. Point is, they're met with them and they're like, Charles, this is Liza. Oh, not to mention that when he walked in, he like walked up right behind them and they were telling him, she's single, don't worry about the ex-husband, that's her family, she's the one we've been trying to set you up with. And it's like, pff, no duh. They're finally talking and they introduce them together, and he's all like, oh, nice to meet you, Liza, nice to meet you, Charles. He works at Millennial. Didn't you used to work at publishing? Yeah, when I was younger. Ha. The next day at work, he spots her at the coffee station and he comes up to her and he starts the conversation. They're talking about kids. She spills why she works so hard at her job, why she's been lying the whole time, which is like, finally, because that's all she's been trying to tell him, okay? And it's like he finally gets it. He gets it, and it makes me so happy because they're like flirty and talking, and he's making the effort. And then we have Diana and Liza exchanging some gifts, which I'm gonna get back to. And Diana hands Liza a card from Charles. She's like, what? And so she opens it and it's like, thanks for being a part of a company, we're grateful, couldn't be where we are without you, something like that. There's a check and it's a bonus, and apparently it's a lot because her eyes widen. She runs to his office. He's gone. Of course, the janitor is there. He's always there. I'm literally fast forwarding to just what were their scenes during the show, because then comes the ending and Charles is in a taxi stuck in traffic. Yodeling comes on whatever radio station's on in the car. He tells the taxi to like take me here, and next scene is Liza walking up to the apartment. Charles is knocking at the door trying to get in, and he spots her and he runs down and he's like, I don't care anymore, and they kiss. Thank you. All of the people of Younger, thank you. Again, I was sitting there like this the whole time because I didn't know if they were gonna actually kiss, not kiss, if Josh was gonna show up, okay? Because the scene prior was Josh leaving, Caitlin opening her big mouth talking about, oh, I hope you and my mom work it out because y'all are good together, you're like the best thing that ever happened to her. And it kind of, you know, sparks, I think, things in his head, but he like blows it off. But I was really scared because he was leaving to the airport. I was scared that he was gonna end up like stopping by and like telling Liza, I want to try or something. So I'm really happy, not that I don't love Josh, but I'm really happy that Charles and Liza got to have their moment and kiss. Also, how sad would that have been had Josh walked in on them twice kissing. Like, oh, poor dude. Yeah, he didn't deserve that. So good thing that they didn't have Josh interrupt. I was yelling, feeling. Let's re-show that kiss.
What are you?
I don't care anymore.
This episode was called, I didn't even introduce the episode, I just went right into it. So this episode was called A Christmas Miracle, which is exactly what it was for us Team Charles people. Thank you. The other storylines that happen between the Charles and Liza commotion is Kelsey is still seeing Zane and Jake at the same time. She's dating them, she's talking to both. Neither of them know about each other like that. And so she's balancing them, and they go to this magazine party where Jake essentially finds out because he sees Zane kiss her, and he walks away with Charles to discuss something about the book, and we find out the next day that he wants to only work with Kelsey because he feels that having two writers is taking away time and effort or whatever from one of them when it could be essentially be a one-person job. Zane's not exactly happy about it. He finds out that something is kind of between Kelsey and Jake, and he's not happy about it. So I mentioned Josh having a talk with Caitlin. Now he is brought into a small scene where he and Liza exchange gifts. And it's very cute because everything seems normal. There's not a lot of flirt. It seems genuine. The fact that they're on good terms right now, being able to exchange gifts and etc., be in the same room, is very sweet. Another cute moment was Diana and Liza exchanging gifts. So Diana ends up getting her this diamond-y, bedazzled whatever necklace that's like boom in your face. Obviously not Liza's cup of tea. It's very Diana with the big extravagant necklaces. But it was very thoughtful because earlier in the very beginning of the episode she had blinking like Christmas lights on as a necklace, and Diana was like no. So now she said if you're gonna blind someone, blind them with this. And then Diana got emotional, like you see her face change, and she felt touched at the fact that Liza got her something and she knitted her a red scarf. The way that Liza and Diana's relationship has changed to the fact that they are exchanging gifts, they're able to talk to each other about boys, and I thought that was a very sweet moment because you see, you know, she has this like straight face, I'm a woman in power, I'm not gonna show emotion. So for her to just show any small sentiment, especially towards Liza, is very sweet, and I really hope that we get to see more of that loviness between Diana and Liza again. Which, speaking of, Diana and Enzo are very cute. Their little small scene in this episode of Enzo bringing a Christmas tree and her being hesitant at first, her mood changing when she sees it's lit, and he brought it for her. He's just opening her eyes and she's giving things a chance. The last story line that happens in this episode is the whole Maggie, and I think her name was Penelope, she was crazy. She had the art Super Bowl last week. She had this very expensive, very popular buyer wanting to buy something. Find out this episode she bought all of Maggie's stuff, gives her a big fat check, but then we realize as she shows up to a party hosted by Penelope and whoever her husband is, when she's talking to another artist she says they own you. You listen to them now. It was something very weird, but essentially it's like whatever vacation they tell you to go on, you're gonna go on. Whatever party you're gonna do, you're gonna show up. And it was just very weird. Even though everyone seemed happy, like the lady that Maggie had been talking to did not seem scared or anything. And when she finds out that she's gonna be having to take these, you know, Simon Says moves, she stands up and says, I'm sorry, I don't fit in. I don't think I'm really for you. My art is not to be put up in storage, because the lady she'd been talking to finds out that all the work that she buys, Penelope buys, is just put into storage. It's never really put anywhere. So it's very much like Penelope is just collecting artists, which is, again, weird. So she stands up and walks out, and that's that. Next week's promo, oh my goodness. Okay. Woo! The fact that it played right after the Liza and Charles kiss was like boom, boom, boom. Because there's a lot of steamy scenes, okay? It shows them like kissing again. It shows them walking, like if they're on a date. It shows them in a room. Liza taking off her dress. I am gonna scream. It shows a lot. And then it shows like the next day, Kelsey's like commenting how Charles seems like a new man, or he seems glowy or something like that. And I was like, if I slept with Liza, I would too. And he's also working a scruff in the next episode, also because this again deals with around the Christmas time, so I guess they take like a long break and then he's back and he has a scruff, which I'm here for. Pauline ends up calling Charles and he's like, I need to talk to you, and she can move along. Although I know it makes for good drama, but we've just waited so long for Charles and Liza to finally work out. So for Pauline to come back and be thrown in that mix is kind of like, I need a breather. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. Leave your comments below. Were you screaming like I was? I'm pretty sure everyone heard me. I will see you guys next week for another video of Younger. Bye!